Welcome to another episode of Vital Question. As always, I'm your host, Guerrero, with
La co-host.
co-host. I forgot to say episode 26.
Episode 20. It's because we've been gone for a while.
We've been
That's why.
gone for a while, people.
It's
We're
been a
so
couple weeks.
sorry.
It's been a busy couple of weeks for us.
My gosh, we're gonna do a recap and everything, but if you already read the title, we're gonna get into it.
Yeah, we originally had a bunch of other plans for today's episode and wanted to give you a longer debrief on what we had going on, but yeah, it's the way this year has been going, and every plan we have kind of goes to crap really quick. So
You guys don't realize. I feel you should feel bad for the co-host. Okay, you should be hitting that subscribe button and that leaving comments. Thank you, co-host, for the work, because she will do a whole research for 2 or 3 days on a topic that we're very passionate about, and then we go literally the day before, hey, something major happened. Trump flipped the world, and I'm just like, okay, yeah, we
have to change it
we
now.
have to change it now. And then she has to work frantic
Yeah.
to try and bring.
Yeah, it's this one. Today's episode was brought to you by my research from today because from yesterday to today there was a lot of things that were going on. And if you saw the title, what is in those Epstein files? Yeah, we're talking about Epstein because what else could we possibly talk about at this point? But before we do, we did want to share just one of the reasons why we were away for a couple of weeks. We actually, fortunately, got to attend the New York Is Not for Sale rally in New York on October 26th as quote unquote new media, which was really cool. This kind of recognition by the Democratic Party and by Zoran's team of the importance of what they're calling new media, which is essentially influencers and content creators and people on social media that aren't traditional, mainstream.
Yeah.
But acknowledging the importance of what people do in this space.
Yeah, and we took this very seriously. We felt like in the time and the space right now, Mamdani is the kind of candidate that we can get behind, and we want to rally behind. So if there's any way that we could use our platform to try and get New Yorkers, what is it, free buses,
So many things.
so many wonderful things that he's trying to do for the city.
Yeah, so luckily, obviously, as we know now, he fortunately won along with a lot of other Democrats in the recent elections on November 4th. But we did want to just scroll through some pictures. Ran into some friends, Che and Kevin, which I think most people that follow us probably follow him as well, and you should. He puts out wonderful content.
Yeah.
And then this is us. Obviously, I have to hide my face, but but I have hair and I'm a person.
So. If you're watching on YouTube, you'll see a glimpse at co-host.
Yeah, and we actually also had the opportunity to interview Brad Lander. So just gonna put that on screen really quick to give you a little snippet of that interview.
I want to say, as an immigrant myself, seeing what you've been doing, going to the courthouses, helping people, and unfortunately, the brutality you face, I just can't imagine you're still doing. I mean, everything you're facing, and you're still going out there trying to help people.
I saw this sweet 16-year-old kid, Joel, detained on Thursdays, without he's an unaccompanied minor, 16 years old, trying to get back to high school.
Yeah.
So, but what are we going to do other than show up and fight? And what a great team to do it with.
So just pausing it there.
Yeah.
But
you can see the whole thing on TikTok or Instagram at Che Guerrero ENG.
Correct. But yeah, so the rally was really great. It was, in my opinion, the first time in a while that I felt hope.
Yeah.
The second time were the elections, the recent elections, right? Yeah. Where there was that blue wave, as everyone's calling it.
But this is the third time we feel hope, sort of.
I mean, kind of. I don't know.
It's a weird moment.
It's a weird moment. But yeah, as everyone knows, there was a government shutdown as well, which was as a result of Republicans not wanting to extend the Affordable Care Act health insurance subsidies that are set to expire at the end of this year.
That's why we were away for 42 days. It was the government shutdown. We're funded.
We are not funded by the government.
No, we're like PBS.
Oh,
we got shut down.
Oh,
PBS money.
Oh, okay.
No. Don't take that out of context.
It's a joke.
Just joking. We absolutely no government money. It was just a shutdown joke.
Yeah.
Let's take it back. Jesus. Somebody's gonna clip that. Why don't you play the rest of that clip?
And that's why you gotta be Lord. Anyways. So yeah, that happened. And we're all really excited about the election results. And then a bunch of Democrats caved into what Republicans wanted and literally fed right into their hands. So just really quick, because I do want to shout out intentionally all the Democrats that voted in favor of reopening the government without getting a guarantee from Republicans that they will extend these subsidies, which was the whole point of the whole shutdown. The whole point of the longest shutdown in U.S. history was for this, and they dropped the ball. Intentionally or unintentionally? Let's
Didn't
find
you
out.
say this like they're horrible like lawyers or like because you got nothing.
They didn't even
right.
write it down. They got nothing in writing.
They got nothing
Nothing
in
in assigned writing, which is just, I don't know, law school 101. Just, a promise is, I don't know. Don't even get me started. I'm so disappointed in the legal system this year. Like, let's not even go there. So yeah, so it first started out with 8 senators, Democratic senators that broke with the rest of the Democrats. Just looking at an AP article here. We are doing things a little bit different this episode just for tech reasons, so bear with us. We have more of a presentation kind of style, but showing all of our sources still. So this is an AP article. The title is "These 8 Senators Broke with Democrats on the Government Shutdown Deal. Here's how they explain it." And it goes into all their BS reasonings, but whatever. First person, let's just put this full screen for my sake. First person is Senator Jeanne, I can't even tell mine. Jeanne Shaheen of New Hampshire.
Okay.
Next person is Senator Dick Durbin of Illinois. Next person is Senator Tim Kaine of Virginia. Next person is Senator Maggie Hassan of New Hampshire. Next person is Senator Angus King of Maine. Next person is Senator Jackie Rosen of Nevada. Next person is Senator Catherine Cortez Masto of Nevada. And last person is Senator John Fetterman of Pennsylvania, that I saw had a slip and fall or something like that yesterday, which I felt like was karma. Yeah. But I'm running through things. We got a lot to go through today. So those were.
Well, luckily he has health care.
Yeah, that must be nice.
Must be nice to have a slip and fall and know you could go to the hospital and get taken care of.
Yeah, I think he actually did go to the hospital too.
Well,
but he was fine. Like he got
I'm
out.
glad
Whatever.
he's fine and that he was able to go to the hospital and make sure that he was fine.
Yeah, and probably doesn't have to worry about an insane medical insurance premium like many people will have to next year because they didn't know how to act. But
right.
all good.
Wow. Did not know that. Thank you for a little piece of tidbit.
So first senators messed up, then it was House Democrats. Actually, also for context, these senators are not up for re-election next year, which is people are speculating is partially the reason maybe
and
why.
Some of them are retiring.
And some of them are retiring.
So they thought they could shield themselves
Correct.
should anything pass from now till then, sort of to like, people's memory is what are we talking about? Short.
Always short. Jesus. And then if that wasn't bad enough, then the House came in. So 6 House Democrats voted in favor of the bill, the recent proposed bill to end the government shutdown at least until, or to fund the government at least until the end of the year. Those people were Jared Golden of Maine. Oh, sorry, actually just sharing the sites. So we're reading from a CBS News article entitled, quote, "These 6 House Democrats voted for a bill to end government shutdown." First person is Jared Golden of Maine. Next person, Mary Gluesenkamp Perez. Mary Perez.
Mary Perez.
Of Washington.
Okay.
Henry Queller of Texas. Adam Gray of California. Don Davis of North Carolina. And Tom Suozzi of New York. Great. Gotta love it. So those are the people that essentially we have to blame for a lot of this.
Yeah.
What is interesting though is in terms of the House Democrats that voted in favor of it, there are some people facing re-election next year for the 2026 midterms. So that is something for people to look out for and keep in mind. Again, you have to voting according to the candidates, right? Like it's not only their party, it's also how they've been voting. It's also their voting record. Are they voting in favor of the things that you care about? Are they voting and properly representing you? These are the questions that you have to ask yourself.
Yeah. And what else happened?
What happened?
Representative Adelita.
Oh, I'm getting to that later.
Oh, I thought it was part of I thought we were going to jump in. Okay. Oh, that's a little preview of what happened. All right, let's go. All right.
So on to the subject of today's episode. Good old Epstein. So
old Epstein.
I was being sarcastic.
No, I know.
If you've been living under a rock for the past 48 hours, recently the House Oversight Committee released a bunch of Epstein records, which is interesting to me because I think we talked about this, right? The timing of it all, that this came after or shortly after the Democrats voting in favor of this
Ending.
proposed budget bill and then
Right.
funding and ending the government shutdown.
Mhm.
And then literally, what was it, the next day, I think
The
it was,
next
or
day.
2 days,
Yeah.
I forget the exact timing, but shortly thereafter, all of a sudden, here's a bunch of different Epstein files.
Mhm.
I know that the timing of, and we'll get to Representative Grijalva and her getting sworn in.
Mhm.
But it was, I don't know. It's very frustrating to find out that they've had this
Yeah.
and sat on it, right? Like y'all could have just, whatever you could have released should have been released
Should have been
already,
released a
in
long
my
time ago.
opinion.
Now, I'm not trying to give them enough credit here, but like, did they have to wait for some kind of, release
Well, but
kind of
that's,
situation? I don't know, but still, like, release these. I mean, the timing was just so frustrating.
it's just like, oh wait,
It's
you
like
guys are
it's-
pissed at us. Let's
yeah.
let's make you happy with a bigger scandal.
Yeah, and that's, I think we talked about this, sort of it's feeling gross, the weaponization of the Epstein files.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? These are actual victims. These are
Mhm.
real people.
Correct.
These are people who should have gotten justice a long time
Yeah.
ago. And for politicians to only really be caring because it could mean it would mean the demise of Trump, which we would.
Mhm.
But you know what I mean? But it's just, at the expense of these victims, just feels so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, to clarify for this episode, by no means are we trying to platform a demon, aka Epstein,
Mhm.
and whoever was involved with him, right? And out of respect for the victims, we do want to acknowledge that they should have been heard in the first place.
Mhm.
This is Exhibit A of Believe Women.
Yeah.
And this Exhibit A of that women are not respected and
Mhm.
women are not believed in the first right. Like, and that's the problem, right? And I never want to hear again about how, oh yeah, the fight for equality for women is ridiculous and women are equal and da da da, whatever. Like, if this year has taught anyone anything, is that we don't live in a post-racial society.
Mhm.
We don't have equal gender rights or even clearly any LGBTQ rights are
Mhm.
entirely unsafe, right?
Mhm.
So I never want to hear this
Yeah.
ever again.
Yeah.
Because I know of way too many ironically educated quote unquote people that have said dumb things like that to me, unfortunately. So yeah, just want to take a
Yeah.
moment to highlight the fact that this should be about the victims and just, praying for their healing and hoping that this comes to a conclusion soon and people are held accountable for their actions ASAP
Yeah.
because this should have happened over a decade ago.
Yeah. And you know what? It is, you highlight very well how much, minorities are not protected, how much LGBTQ people are not protected, how much women are not protected, how much kids are not protected, how much, little girls are not protected. And it's true. The Trump is like the worst of the worst in so many ways. And it is highlighting just how broken our society is.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
that's why this Epstein thing is just like, it's so much bigger than, it just signifies so much of what's broken with our society and how many powerful people are involved. This isn't just some kooky conspiracy theories that in the, that I'm maybe what time was just ruminating
Mhm.
in the depths of the internet. Now it's out in the open. People are seeing the widespread corruption
Right.
of what it meant to be associated with Epstein, who he was associated with,
Yeah.
who was in these emails, and what they mean.
Yeah, and there's so many emails and documents and things that have come out. It was more than 20,000 documents that came out over, I think, the span of, I forget if it's 2 days or yesterday. Yesterday was really like the catalyst of it.
20,000.
But some of the research I was looking at had a date of November 12th, which was 2 days ago. Today's November 14th, so that's why I was a little confused. But I think journalists might have gotten to certain things quicker and all that.
Right.
But anywho. Since before we dive into the juicy stuff, we need to talk about context, right? Who the hell is Epstein? Because other than, again, a demon, who was this person and why did he seem to be so powerful? And ironically, once you start looking into the details of his background, it's actually a little shocking that he did become as powerful as he did. But again, it's the example of the power of connection.
Mm-hmm.
So looking at a BBC article, the title is "Who Was Jeffrey Epstein? The disgraced financier with powerful associates." This is dated back January 2024. So it's a little bit older, but it's giving, kind of the overview. Ironically, it's a little harder to find this information from like US sources, but I think it's because everything that I saw was about the emails and, it was a little harder to dig because everything U.S. space is talking about. Obviously, the scandal.
Yeah, you know, sometimes when you're looking for a certain type of article,
Mhm.
it's hard to get a grasp on that on the internet because you're like, wait, I'm not searching for the most recent things. I'm looking for something older.
Right. Exactly.
Hmm.
So just reading off of this, sharing screen, and it gives a nice little summary of, not nice, but it gives a good summary of who this person was, right? So born and raised in New York, Epstein taught math and physics in the city at the private Dalton School in the mid 1970s. Ironically, although he studied math and physics himself, he actually never graduated college. Yet he was somehow allowed to be a teacher in a private school. But that's a question for what, in the 1970s? What?
There's a cannot pinpoint who exactly it is,
Mhm.
but that was one of his first powerful connections.
Well, yeah,
Somebody very powerful. Yeah.
correct. Because then, as a result of that, a father of one of his students apparently was so taken by Epstein that he put him in touch with a senior partner at a Wall Street investment bank, Bear Stearns, which is a major, was a major
Mhm.
bank at the time, and he was a partner there for within 4 years. Again, hadn't graduated college and became,
Mm.
but again, it's all about connections in this world, right? And yeah, so they manage really wealthy client finances, and essentially that's where he started getting connected with a lot of the big names that he then got
Mm.
associated with.
And how could
When
he bring these partners in so quickly?
correct. And when asked about Epstein, Trump told New York Magazine back in 2002, quote, "I've known Jeff for 15 years. Terrific guy." Continuing the quote, "He's a lot of fun to be with. It is even said that he likes beautiful women as much as I do, and many of them are on the younger side. No doubt about it, Jeffrey enjoys his social life." That's a quote from this man back in 2002. So, um,
Mm. Jesus
so
Christ.
yeah. So what's
This was
interesting,
when I was like in full swing.
yeah. So as we all, I think, know at this point, that later on, he was, found guilty of the crime of sex trafficking, and a lot of different.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
a
sorry, no, he wasn't found guilty. Sorry, go ahead.
it's a crazy timeline because I believe it was 2008
Mm-hmm.
where he was investigated by the U.S. government. A few years later, he was released again, just 3 years later,
Mm-hmm.
and was pretty much right back to doing what he did up
Mm-hmm.
until he went back in for 2019.
Exactly. Yeah. So after being denied bail and he was awaiting his trial on sex trafficking, so again, he wasn't found guilty yet,
Mm,
but all signs were pointing. There was pretty hard evidence and it was pretty obvious.
mm,
He allegedly killed himself on August 10th, 2019, in a New York jail.
mhm.
And again, we say allegedly because the circumstances around his death were real interesting. The first thing we wanted to flag is there was no investigation during the Biden administration. Question number one: why? Why? This happened during his
Mhm.
administration.
Mhm.
And I'm not saying, by no means am I saying that necessarily Biden was involved with Epstein or whatever,
No.
but it is very telling that they didn't go after this person who, or sorry, look into the death of this person
Mhm.
who had such a high profile case that involves so many high profile people that are involved in our politics and are involved in our government. And I think that, it does beg the question of why wasn't anything done further about it back then. They just
Yeah.
kind of like, "Oh, he killed himself, that's fine."
Yeah.
What? It's literally the storyline of a movie.
Yeah.
The guy is in jail and he kills himself?
Yeah.
Like, that's how many movies? I mean, I've never seen The Sopranos, but I'm guessing that's a thing there, and
Oh, I think we're thinking more Breaking Bad of when he like timed the shanking of like 20 people at the same time,
Right.
Walter White type thing.
Yeah.
But now that you're bringing a lot of this stuff up, I hadn't, because again, this thing to me was something that was like in the right wing sphere, and the way it was being used. So I hadn't really paid attention to a lot of this until years ago, especially now for this episode. The timeline is just insane.
Mhm.
I did not realize that he was essentially arrested and died in jail while Trump was president.
While Biden was president?
No, because this was 2019.
When he died in jail?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Trump was president.
Right.
And it was
Oh,
just
right,
like,
right, yeah.
it was just, wait a minute. It wasn't talked about.
Mhm.
It was kind of just moved on.
Well, that was very
Biden came
intentional. Yeah,
in,
exactly.
didn't investigate how this guy died. That's the one thing Joshua Johnson has been amazing with this. He says an amazing joke. He goes, Ghislaine Maxwell was arrested for helping Jeffrey Epstein traffic children for Jeffrey Epstein and no one else. Like, that's it. Like, it starts and ends with just them two,
Mm-hmm.
that's a crazy investigation.
Right, especially when you have evidence that points to a lot of other people.
And that's where this just is Democrats and Republicans alike are just like, this will not go away.
Yeah, because it shouldn't. And it's also ridiculous that it's taken this long.
Yeah.
And I think it's hopefully an eye opener for everyone. It's not just for Republicans, it's for Democrats too. Because the irony is that, you know, people on the right keep being like, well, there's Democrats in there too. And we're like, yeah. Look into them.
Yeah.
That's terrible. They're also predators.
I mean, I think Trump said like he's gonna ask the DOJ to just release the Democrats who are on the Epstein list. And I'm like, okay, cool. Okay, we're gonna do a 50-50. Okay, start with them, and then release the Republicans,
Right? Can we
yourself.
get it in writing that you'll
okay,
that
like
you look into the Republicans?
Don't threaten me with a good time, man. And like whoever's on this list, you're not selling me on this here.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like I think people remember earlier on this year, I believe, when all those videos came out of the moment that he was killed or that he killed himself, and like around that time, and they ended up being doctored somehow,
missing clips, missing minutes. It's actually not even the jail cell. It's like around the corner.
Exactly.
And you're like, dude, you are... It gets worse and worse and worse and worse. And I'm just like, you ever heard the joke, the aristocrats?
No.
I never really understood it until now. But it's like, it's this... I'm going to do the aristocrats. Oh my God, I'm going to get to do it. Okay. So this dad walks in... It's disgusting, with his family.
Okay.
I want to make them older. They're like the son and daughter are like in their 30s, and the mom, you know what I mean, the dad, and they're at a talent agency, and the dad goes, we got a show that's gonna be out of this world. And he goes, all right. The talent agent's like, let me see it. And then the dad starts effing the mom, and the mom starts eating the daughter, and the son starts doing stuff, and then all of a sudden they bring in a dog, and they all start doing it with each other, and they throw up on each other. And the talent agent goes, what do you call that? And the dad goes, the aristocrats.
Okay.
It's that high power people will call themselves powerful, and they'll be like, we're the shining pillar, and we're the example of what society is supposed to be.
Disgusting,
but
vulgar,
then they're disgusting, vulgar people that you don't
Yes.
want anywhere near you.
Well, yeah,
And that's the first time I understood this joke, because I'm like, oh my gosh.
Well, it's funny because that trope and that concept has been in like books and stories for history for a while now, right? Like, and this concept that's the irony of it, that Europeans, white people, blah blah, whatever, insert entitled population of people here, are claim that they are so above it all and above people, but yet they tend to be the most ridiculous and disgusting and blah blah. And there's different writings about that, right? Like, and
oh yeah, I'm sorry, I'm just putting like a lot of like the core of it, and then you see it
even on a basic just US history level, right? Like white people back in the day when slavery was legal used to eat black people. Just look it up.
Mummies.
That's literally history.
Yeah.
So, and obviously we're not qualifying all white people in this. I feel like I always have to give disclaimers. It's the terrible
we're
ones.
about what, like white supremacy, white society. And just, that's a big differential too that we're trying to make these days. It's like we're talking about white supremacy. Right. We're talking about anybody who, who's standing in the way of progress.
Right,
like
because we've seen a lot of white people standing up for great causes.
I talked to Brad Lander.
Yeah, exactly.
He was somebody who I saw was really standing up for things. There's a lot of good people out there on all walks of life.
Yeah, let's go back to the terrible people that we're talking about.
Exactly.
So if
you shouldn't be walking
at all.
all.
So in case you're curious on all the different failings of the quote unquote investigation, you can feel free to read this CBS News article. The title is "In Cell Where Jeffrey Epstein Died: A Scene of Disarray That Never Underwent Thorough Inspection," experts say. This article was updated on October 9th, 2025. And it goes through all the different things that they messed up. I won't, for the sake of time, I won't go into all the details, but the little summary here highlights about the different issues in the investigation that include the failure of investigators to interview potential witnesses, properly preserve certain evidence, and run basic forensic tests. It goes on to say, like, it even took almost 2 years before investigators interviewed 2 key correction officers on duty the night that Epstein died in his cell in the Metropolitan Correctional Center in downtown New York City. Why the hell did it take that long?
2 years.
Why the hell did it take that long? That's crazy. Like, so that's
isn't it the first 48, not the first 480?
It's just, that's what I mean. Like, it's such a blatant cover up.
They were dragging their feet and their big knuckles.
No, they were waiting for people to hopefully forget. That's what they were waiting.
Yeah, they were hoping that it was just another. Like, listen, there's scandals. This is, oh my God, this and it's global. It's global.
Exactly. So then after he died, as we know, his former that's weird. Oh, right, it's the same article. His former girlfriend, Ghislaine Maxwell, came into the headlines. Looking back on the same BBC article, who was Jeffrey Epstein, the disgraced financier with powerful associates, it goes on to describe the Maxwell trial. So in December 2021, a jury in New York City found her guilty of 5 out of 6 counts, including the most serious charge, that of sex trafficking of a minor. She was sentenced to 20 years in prison, meaning the 6-year-old could spend, I don't know why I said
60-year-old.
Yeah, could spend the rest of her life behind bars. So that was back this article date, right? So that was back in 2024 that this article was written. And as we know, since then, there's been a bunch of changes. So this year particularly has been great for Ghislaine Maxwell. She was recently transferred from a low-security federal correction institution in Tallahassee, Florida, to an all-women's federal prison camp, Bryan. I didn't know there was prison camps.
Like for like nice camps, like nice prisons,
basically.
Oh, there's beautiful, like George Santos was also in a very nice prison. These rich people do not go to the same prisons as we do,
and that's what's insane to me is that, like, again, how is this allowed? Like, how is this okay?
Because the system is rigged.
That's what I'm saying.
Because,
no, but right,
yes,
hypothetically,
yeah, of course, this is what people need to see. Like crime is made up by the riches. They steal every day from you. They kill people every day. There's something like Donald Trump has killed over 500,000 people by cutting USAID to Africa, mostly children, and they will never see a day behind bar.
Yeah.
And if they do, it'll be in a king-size bed while playing tennis.
Yeah. What makes the situation worse is that we find out that it's ridiculous perks. Like, there's perks, and like it sounds like this place is already nice. It's apparently in a really nice neighborhood. To the point that nearby neighbors sometimes, like, the inmates will wave to like nearby neighbors because it's all out in the open, and neighbors will wave back, and just because everyone's really chill, and it's totally fine. It sounds like it's like a little like neighborhood spot that there's like beautiful trees around there. It's all, the ambiance is totally good.
I love that it's, as long as like a millionaire like criminal, white people are okay with it being in a neighborhood.
Well, no, to clarify, no, that neighborhood is not okay with this woman.
Oh, okay.
You're making an assumption.
No, but I'm saying like the
before,
fact that like
before she came into play, they were fine with whoever was in there, which the details of who's in there, I don't know.
Excuse me.
They were fine with whoever was in there because someone like her is not supposed to be in there, and that's the point.
Right.
Someone that's a danger to society is not supposed to be in there. Someone that is a violent, because this is violence. That's the other thing. Just because she didn't like slash someone's throat doesn't mean that she didn't cause violence. This is violence
against children.
Yeah.
People keep, somebody just, you always don't want to put stuff out there, but somebody like, stop calling this like, sex with children. It was R. These are children. This is the R word. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
They can't
Words
consent.
Matter. Yeah, they didn't
Children
consent.
cannot consent.
Okay.
Take it from the lawyer. That's literally in our laws across the nation, y'all. Children are not able to consent. That's why they can't sign a contract. That's why they can't do a lot of things, actually. It's not binding right away, right? No, because they are underage. Thereby, it's by default not able to consent. They don't have the wherewithal to understand the circumstances. I don't care how mature a child is. I don't care if, for some people, 15 and 8 years old are two different distinctions of what is a child. No, that's still a child, and we'll get into that.
It's a child.
But before we do, so what happened with Ghislaine and the recent kind of controversy that came out was a result of the House Judiciary Committee released emails that Ghislaine Maxwell had sent during, because I just realized Maxwell sounds like the RIP.
Did he?
Yeah. Didn't he die? I think he did.
You know what? Let's
he did die recently.
Let's skip this part right now. We'll
I feel like he did die recently.
Was it because I know D'Angelo?
Oh no, it was D'Angelo.
And I was like, but I don't know where Maxwell is right now. So
was it D'Angelo?
It was D'Angelo.
Oh, I'm mixing up my R&B people. Never mind.
It's just I hope Maxwell's all right. Let us know in the comments.
No, I think Maxwell might be right. Damn, sorry, Maxwell. Shit. I hope, you know what? Eat your Wheaties, bro. Like, just be okay.
Stay okay.
Oh yeah, stay okay. Okay. Anyways,
sorry.
So the House Judiciary Committee released emails that she sent during her first couple of months in this new facility. Ironically, what we see here is an image of her in one of the emails where she said, quote, I feel like I have dropped through Alice in Wonderland's looking glass because it was so drastically better than her experience. Yeah. So just to reading off of this NBC News article entitled Ghislaine Maxwell's prison email shows she is, quote, happier at a minimum security Texas facility, of course, in Texas. Just reading from the article, quote, Maxwell's unexpected move to all women's federal prison Camp Bryan, which houses inmates convicted of nonviolent offenses and white collar crimes in dormitory style quarters, drew immediate condemnation from current and former Federal Bureau of Prisons employees. They said it was very unusual for prisoners with sex offenses on their records to be incarcerated in such an unconstrained setting, indicating Maxwell was receiving preferential treatment.
Oh, damn.
It goes on. Maxwell, 63, had been in a low security federal correction institution in Tallahassee, Florida, following her conviction in December 2021 on federal sex trafficking charges. FCI Tallahassee is more restrictive than a camp like FPC Bryan, where inmates have access to work programs, recreation, and other activities, and are often serving shorter sentences. Maxwell was moved days after meeting with Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche in July. This article basically goes on to explain all the different perks that she's getting, to just not bore everyone with like kind of trying to read
Oh, you bring it back up?
No, it's fine.
Yeah.
I'm just going to summarize all the different things, right? So we talked about her little Alice in Wonderland comment. So apparently her visitors get special accommodations. It didn't go into detail what that was, but my guess is that they get, if there's a list of people to see people, they're going to be probably first in line and all that.
Wow, she has a VIP.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, we got a velvet rope for Ghislaine.
Her meals are delivered to her dormitory.
Yeah.
She gets late night workouts. She has the ability to shower after other inmates are already in bed for the night. She's able to access the warden for help, including arranging visits and communicating with her lawyers. The article actually went into a story about how the warden suggested to Ghislaine that she have her lawyer scan some paperwork to the warden, so that way the warden can scan back Ghislaine's changes to said paperwork in order to meet a court deadline, because it seemed like she wanted to mail it, but it wasn't going to get there in time. So she spoke to the warden and was like, hey, so I'm going to miss this court deadline and I'm not sure what to do. And the warden was like, oh, you should. And she wrote this in an email to her friend or someone else and was like, oh yeah, the warden was like so nice. And we're just like, oh, just scan it. Just tell them to scan it and I'll scan it back for you. That's not a thing. This is supposed to be a prison.
This isn't punishment.
Correct. And legal experts obviously confirmed that that's not normal. And one inmate apparently reportedly said that no inmates are allowed to prepare her meals, because typically inmates prepare meals for other inmates, right? They get assigned kitchen duty.
To be
correct.
Tampered with.
Other accusations that were made by the inmates, as reported by the article, were that they've been threatened with retaliation if they speak about Maxwell to the media. And at least one person who spoke with the Wall Street Journal, actually, and was cited in this article, was transferred out of FPC Bryan after speaking about Maxwell, the reporter, the newspaper reported. So they actually have already transferred someone out. And of course, not claiming that has nothing to do with it. But yeah, because they spoke about this person. So feel free to read the article for further details on Ghislaine Maxwell. But we're trying to get to the emails that have come out. There's a lot on this.
Wow. See, he's bombarding people with so much, trying to cover up this. That's what it is. You know what's funny? Everybody who'll be like I'll put a video, but like, hey, this is what's happening with Trump and the boats in Venezuela, and people are like Epstein files, and I'm like, oh, he's cutting off people like Epstein files, and I'm like, oh right, whenever something happens, he just like chaos.
Well, actually, on those boats in Venezuela and in South America, I have a theory, and it's a theory, and it's speculation, and insert all the qualifiers here for us not to get sued or whatever the hell.
These comments.
This is my opinion. This is not reflective of whatever the fuck. Like Jesus Christ. But I have a theory that this is all of his escalation in South America and all of this BS about South American countries being dangerous and blah blah, and that's why we have to stand our ground over there, and that's why we're killing people randomly in the water, and I think it is intentionally to start a war. That's obviously all signs are pointing to that, and it is to take over the elections, right? Because as he not jokingly said earlier this year when
Oh,
he was
yeah.
speaking.
Yeah.
Right. I think he was speaking with Bukele
Yeah.
when he found out. He was like,
I forgot
"Oh,"
who. Yeah.
he goes, "Oh wait, if there's a war, there's no elections."
The Ukrainian president. That's what it was. Vladimir Zelensky. It
Oh,
was like,
Zelensky. Yeah,
you
yeah.
haven't had an election because
Oh,
you've been
right.
at war. And he was like, yes, it's hard to do elections with
Of
full
course.
blown war. That's not a great Zelensky. Maybe it was. Tell me it's hashtag Che Zelensky. I don't know. I'm trying to get people to comment.
But yeah, but like, you know, thinking back to that moment and him essentially alluding to, oh, that's interesting, and all this escalation that's happening in Latin America and South America,
Mm-hmm.
it honestly it just feels like a pressure cooker intentionally to egg people on to try to start something,
Mhm.
so that way he can claim, oh well, we can have an election, and there goes that.
Yeah.
So just wanted to throw that out there for the record.
Yeah.
That's my theory.
Yeah. He's so dumb. He's like, oh, we have a war abroad that we can't have an election. I was like, no, Ukraine's having a war at home.
Right.
Like, oh God, let me not even tell him. Never mind, because I don't think. Never mind. You know what? Not Venezuela either. I don't want to sacrifice anybody for his vanity.
Right, exactly. So just circling the loop on Ghislaine Maxwell. So apparently now she's working on a prison release application to have her sentencing reconsidered. Surprise, surprise. So wouldn't be surprised if all of a sudden that 20-year sentence drops down to like
Time served.
Time served.
Time served.
And
And we owe you money.
right.
You can now sue the government for us wrongfully detaining you.
Yeah, because
Here's $40 million. Shut up.
that was the other thing that was in that little budget bill that they recently passed. Thanks, Democrats. That it gave people that were investigated or had their phone searched, right, for the January 6th insurrection, the ability to sue the government and get money. So
for being investigated.
yeah, in a budget bill, because that's what Republicans love to do, just put in stuff that's completely irrelevant. And candidly, ironically, as like a former corporate lawyer, the irony is that that's what you do if you are a terrible negotiator. Like if you're intentionally trying to screw over the other side, you'll put in some random provision or language in some section that is not relevant.
Yeah.
Intentionally, because you know people are going to skip certain things, right? So like you're trying to be intentionally sneaky.
Yeah.
And like it's such an obvious play that, again, how don't people see it?
Yeah, like it's about rubber. It's like the rubber industry should now pay 10%, and also edibles are illegal on
Right.
all taxes. And you're like, wait, what? Wait, why is this edible thing stuck in between these two sentences?
Exactly. Oh, right, because the hemp it's a whole thing.
It's a whole
we don't got time.
Budget bill was there's
We don't got
real
time.
quick. Remember, in this budget bill, they snuck in the fact that the Republicans can sue the government for investigating them, and they can take away edibles, but they can't give you health care. Just letting you know that. Okay, go.
Yeah. And we're doing great things for the economy by doing this, by the way. Just killing an industry,
Great.
but totally fine. So moving on to our superhero for the story. So Democratic Representative Adelita Grijalva from Arizona, who is the first Latina to represent Arizona in Congress. Shout out to her.
Yo.
She, as we know, was unfortunately delayed in her swearing in by 50 days by Mike Johnson, which I guess it hasn't been confirmed, but I think we can all not surprisingly guess why that was, right? Because she was the last vote to sign the discharge petition to release the Epstein files, which she did almost immediately after being sworn in.
Yeah.
Thankfully. And yeah, so she obviously that was signed, and it looks like after she signed that petition, I actually thought that like they were going to release it right away. I didn't realize that there was a separate vote that needed to happen.
Oh yeah, it wasn't like released to Kraken right away.
I
Of course, there's always steps. And by the way,
so
I know.
obnoxious.
I'm not saying it like
no, I know.
Like, how did you not know? But that's how they do it.
Right, but it's so obnoxious. So just looking at the CBS News article entitled "Grijalva assumes new role as Congresswoman after 7-week delay." Quote, "It's really an injustice," end quote. Dated November 13, 2025. Just reading off of it because this actually summarizes what's going to happen now.
Okay.
So reading off of this article, quote, "Her signature on Wednesday," speaking about Grijalva, "starts the clock on a waiting period of 7 legislative days before a member can motion to bring it to the floor," talking about the discharge petition. "After that, leadership has 2 legislative days to schedule a vote, putting the timeline for a vote as soon as early December. But Mike Johnson, said Wednesday night that he would bypass the 7-day waiting period and put it on the floor next week," meaning this coming week. So we'll see what happens. Quote from Mike Johnson, "We're going to put that on the floor for a full vote next week as soon as we get back," he told reporters. "It's unclear if the Senate would take it up, but if it's clear as the House." quote, if I believe we're going to get 40 to 50 Republicans voting with us on the release, Rep. Khanna told reporters on Wednesday. And if we get that kind of overwhelming vote, that's going to push the Senate and it's going to push for a release of the files from the Justice Department. So we're going to wait to see what happens. But essentially now we wait for a vote on this, which again, I think is ridiculous given how long it took for us to get here in the first place.
What? Okay, let me ask this. I'm just gonna ask. He controls the Justice Department. So what
Mhm. It's not going to go anywhere.
is going to
Him being like, oh, we're going to put it to a vote. Like,
we're gonna put it to a vote, and then we're gonna send it to Trump,
Mhm.
and then if Trump vetoes it, then we gotta send it back to the Senate, and we gotta get 6-7.
You, Lord.
That's right. You need 67 senators.
You don't need 67. That's why you stop.
No, is that not right?
You said you need like 7 senators.
Well, no, you need 67 in total, and I think that
Oh,
that means
67.
yeah, 67 in total. Yeah.
Because you kept saying 6, 7, so I kept
Yeah,
thinking it's 6
67.
or 7.
Oh, see, the people who are not in the loop with the coolness. So
You
67.
mean the adults in the room? Oh, okay.
Yeah. So you need 67. So basically, he doesn't. Basically, it feels like a little bit, just when you kind of know
Yeah.
what the rigmarole of it all is.
Right.
Is that Mike Johnson's playing all big and heavy, being like, "We gonna do this. We gonna put up for the vote. Maybe it'll go to the Senate. Trump will say no." And then if he says no, then the Senate's not gonna. That many Republicans not gonna turn on him. And even if it goes that far, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is the DOJ really going to release those files?
Right.
And I'll be real with you. Why didn't Joe Biden?
Why didn't Joe?
And I'm not in those conspiracy theory lanes. But if Trump's not in office and a Democrat comes in, are they going to push to release those files that heavily?
They at this point they have to.
You know what I mean?
Like
that's why I'm afraid. Again, it's just being used in a very disgusting way.
Yeah. It's being used as a bargaining chip, which again, it's a slap in kindly it's a slap in the face to all victims that have ever experienced any kind of sexual assault or any kind of harm in that way, and just it's an assault to women. I don't know. It's just I don't know. I've fortunately never been in that position, but I can't even imagine having your experience weaponized in such a blatantly political way on the world stage like this. It's disgusting.
And how do you reclaim your story? How do you?
Yeah.
Because at this point, it's just nobody's seeking justice for you. Nobody's caring. Nobody's listening. All they care about is, and it's even like Democrats aren't even doing the right things to try and get Trump out. There's so many more stuff. Like this guy is horrible in so many ways.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? And they're not doing the things to actually try and stop fascism and try and stop. And
Yeah.
do you know what I mean?
Well,
It feels like you're putting all this on these files.
Yeah.
I
But
mean,
again,
we already know this.
Yeah, and again, it's very intricate, right? Because it's a comment on the Democratic establishment, right, that have just been twiddling their thumbs all these years. Fortunately, we have more progressive representatives that have been
Yes.
pushing toward this, and thankfully, because of them, this is why we're even at this place in the first place. But yeah,
Are even the Epstein files like a generational thing? Like, is it like more older senators are like, nah, we knew Jeffrey back in the day. You know what I mean? Like,
I wouldn't be surprised.
and the youngers are like, we don't hang out with old creeps like this.
Exactly. If you look at some of the Democrats that voted in favor of this, you'll see that they're a little bit on the older side. But again, that's speculation. I acknowledge that that's speculation. I don't like to speculate.
And by the way,
that.
yeah, it's it's from both parties, and that's what it is. This is a problem. The Epstein is such a problem about society, such a problem with our government. It just represents
About money and
so
power.
much.
It's
Victims not getting the justice. It's
Believe women,
so
yeah.
much.
Exactly. So let's get into it. So sure enough, even though a bunch of stuff has come out, and we'll get into that as well. Surprise, surprise, it's a hoax per Trump. So after avoiding questions for the past couple of days and not posting on True Social, which is like blasphemy for the guy because he will post at whatever the hell time and whatever random crap comes into his head. He is claiming, of course, that it's a hoax because everything is a hoax, right?
Everything's a hoax.
But let's get into how hoaxy this all is. Let's talk about the emails. So,
Dun dun.
reading from a AP News article. It's entitled "Epstein email says Trump quote knew about the girls," end quote, as White House calls its release a Democratic smear. Of course. This is actually where I pulled the 3 different emails that we're going to discuss. So I just want to share that in case anyone wants to go in and grab it themselves.
Yeah.
but this is email number 1. Let me see. Is there a way to like zoom in, maximize? Okay. Do we still see you?
Yeah, it's okay if you don't at this point.
Okay. So this is the first email. So this is from Max, Ghislaine Maxwell, or actually the start of it, from Ghislaine Maxwell to Jeffrey Epstein. And this is a conversation, right? So the first email in the chain is from Jeffrey to Ghislaine saying, quote, I want you to realize that the dog hasn't barked I want you to realize that that dog that hasn't barked is Trump. ... Victim's name. Spent hours at my house with him. ... He has never once been mentioned. ... Police chief. ... etc. I'm 75% there. Ghislaine's response. I've been thinking about that. ... This is back in 2011.
Yeah. And there's so much, again, you don't know what the context is behind these emails. You don't know what exactly they were trying to get at. But of course, you know.
But it ties, one, they knew each other, spent time together. Two,
Yes, of course. That it does say that, yeah.
The victim is blatantly named. They're covering the victim's name up out of respect for this person. Spent hours at his home.
Yeah.
With Trump.
Yes.
Which again, obviously, Trump. It's always. But again, this isn't the most damning one.
No. And what I'm saying is the context in the sense like, yes, all that is true, but people are believing that this is during the investigation into him, into like Epstein, that like Trump didn't say anything. Like he actually like kept it cool, even though he was like still doing stuff. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know if I'm explaining that.
No, I don't.
Okay, people believe the part that it says, I want you to realize that
dog hasn't barked is Trump. That's
Trump.
Essentially, and that's the other thing. A lot of these emails are written terribly. He doesn't spell check anything, doesn't care about spelling or grammar or whatever. But essentially, he's saying that the dog that hasn't barked is Trump.
Yeah, no, I know. And actually, you know what's funny? Some people have talked about the fact that it's just horrible grammar. And that's why, like you mentioned, like it's just rich white dudes who think like they're too above people to actually check themselves or correct themselves. Or also he's stupid. This just shows how stupid he is. You know what I mean? Like he wasn't this genius mastermind that people who's just an idiot with the influence and power who hurt people and got away with it. You know what I mean? But basically, a lot of people are saying is that this email is saying that allegedly this was during an investigation and Trump didn't rat him out.
Yeah. Okay.
Essentially.
Great.
Yeah.
Next email. This is from Jeffrey Epstein to Michael Wolff. Let's zoom in a little bit on my end. So reading from the email, quote, victim's name, Mar-a-Lago, and then another redaction. Sorry, thank you. And then it says, Trump said he asked me to resign. Never a member ever. Of course he knew about the girls as he asked Ghislaine to stop. Of course he knew about the girls. Sure. What girls? What other girls?
What other girls?
The girls that they ever talk about in all these emails are the same girls. It's the same girls. It's the girls.
I wasn't mean by he asked Ghislaine to stop. Like, you know what I mean? It's just
ask Ghislaine to stop doing what? Stop getting him girls?
Stop getting him girls, yes. He asked Ghislaine to stop.
But again, all speculation.
Because it was, this was 2015.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Yeah. I mean, the date. Well, no. The date of this email is January 31st, 2019.
So this was when he was when Trump was in office.
Yeah.
So they were talking about him while he was in office. This is why the timeline is also very important. Some of these are before he's in office. Some of these were investigation going on. Basically, every step of the way, he's mentioning Trump at some point.
Oh no, it gets worse. So from Michael Wolff to Jeffrey Epstein, or this is a chain between Michael Wolff and Jeffrey Epstein. So the first email is on Jeffrey Epstein wrote, right? Or actually, sorry, starting with Michael Wolff. On December 15, 2015, Michael Wolff wrote to Jeffrey Epstein, I hear CNN planning to ask Trump tonight about his relationship with you, either on air or in a scrum afterwards. Then Jeffrey Epstein responded, if we were able to craft an answer for him, what do you think it should be? Michael Wolff responded, I think you should let him hang himself. If he says he hasn't been on the plane or to the house, then that gives you a valuable PR and political currency. You can hang him in a way that potentially generates a positive benefit for you. Or if it really looks like he could win, you could save him, generating a debt. Of course, it is possible that, when asked, he'll say Jeffrey is a great guy and has gotten a raw deal and is a victim of political correctness, which is to be outlawed in a Trump regime. Date of this email is December 16, 2015.
A year before the 2016 election, almost out. Already covering up.
Literally political, like it's in there.
Yeah, it's in there.
So
It's
okay,
it's
sure. Let's play devil's advocate because literally they're
no,
all
I
devil.
will never play devil advocates with Epstein, but
It's a saying.
no.
My point is that political currency is political currency, right? We all know what that means.
Mhm.
You can use that to literally hang it over his head, right?
Yeah.
So these are all the words that are in there.
Mhm.
Assuming that we're not talking about sex trafficking, assuming that we're not talking about violating children. What else are we talking about
What
then?
else are we talking about?
We're talking about something. What you got on him?
Yeah.
Something.
Yeah.
So what is it?
Yeah.
Republicans? What is it?
Yeah. And I really appreciate you reading it backwards like that
Because
because
you have to follow the chain.
you have to follow the chain because a lot of people are reading it like in different patterns. So when it was like, oh, he's running for president, CNN is planning to ask Trump about you. There's already been stories about you. You've gone to jail. You've been released. Like, so they're gonna ask you about you, and he's going to either lie. I don't know what the first question was about Epstein and how he answered it, but essentially is like Epstein is like, should we craft an answer for him? Help him out here.
Yeah, like what would that look like? And then he goes, "Oh, well, you got political capital over him.
Let him hang himself.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So
Wow.
there were obviously a lot more emails, a lot more documents. Like I said, it was more than 20,000 of them. We are not a fan of New York Times and if you're wondering why, just look into the new management,
Their
look into
op-ed pieces
their
recently.
op-ed pieces that say that women are too liberal and
They're
that
ruining the workplace.
they're ruining the workplace, and that article that was changed 3 times, and even though it's an opinion piece, hey, New York Times, you're the platform that's platforming this person. So what does that say about you? You have a choice of what you platform. You know what you are. You know what your reputation is supposed to actually uphold, but you're choosing to platform what you're choosing to platform. But unfortunately, it was a little hard to find the emails themselves. So I'm pulling from this New York Times article entitled Trump name and Epstein emails released by Democrats and Republicans, dated November 12th, 2025. Because the irony is that the first 3 emails were released by Democrats, and then in response, I think it was mostly the oversight Republicans that were like, well, here's all the, like, we're not hiding anything. Here's all this stuff from the same party that said that there weren't files. Republicans, MAGA.
I know
Hey.
it's been said before. Yeah, but Republicans like there's no files.
There's no
we
files.
have 20,000
We have
files.
more than 20,000. More.
Jesus Christ, how many fucking forests have we destroyed?
Correct.
On this pedophile case?
I mean, it's all digital, but yeah.
But I mean, like,
Viejo.
still, but I feel like it's still got to be like a hard copy backup
I'm
or
joking.
something. Do you know what I mean?
I'm joking.
Like,
Yeah, there probably are like hard copy documents.
okay, still digital cloud.
No,
You know
I'm
what I mean?
joking.
Like,
Yes, there's a lot.
20,000 pages. Like, my God.
Yeah. So,
and that's not even the meat of it that we're talking about.
Right, exactly. So, just reading off of just this kind of screenshot that we have here from the article itself, they have little examples, right? So, from Jeffrey Epstein to Ghislaine Maxwell since April 2nd, 2011, quote, I want you to realize that, oh, right, sorry, that's the one we already read. Not as close to no one. You see. Okay. So here's one that we haven't read yet. So from Jeffrey Epstein to Kathy Rumler, dated October 23rd, 2018. Quote, you see, I know how dirty Donald is. My guess is that non-lawyers, my business people, have no idea what it means to have your fixer flip. We actually have this coming up later on. So let's just scroll through to look at a couple. So this is from the New York Times article. Sorry, this thing is in the way. Okay. From a New York Times article, the same New York Times article that has kind of like the running list of everything that's happening relating to these emails and the Epstein files. The report, this was posted November 12th, 2025. The reporter, Luke Broadwater, described this email as discussing a New York Times opinion piece in 2018 concerning the first impeachment inquiry into President Trump. Jeffrey Epstein said he believed that Trump was, quote, dirty, according to the emails released by House Republicans. So they cite the email, which is dated August 23rd, 2018. And this is the one we were trying to read up there. So Kathy Rumler wrote to Jeffrey Epstein, quote, it makes no difference whether it was his money. Issue is failure to disclose. Plus, fact that he has lied his ass off about it makes clear that he knew it was illegal. Jeffrey Epstein responded, quote, you see, I know how dirty Donald is. My guess is that non-lawyers, New York business people, have no idea what it means to have your fixer flip. So it's not clear, again, not clear what they're talking about exactly, but clear that he has been lying, right? Clear
Mhm.
that we're concealing something about money, and clear that
This is
someone
crazy.
has a fixer, right? We all know what a fixer is.
Yeah.
We've seen Scandal.
Yeah.
We've seen like
It's also crazy that Jeffrey Epstein, if I'm reading this article correctly, was investigated while Trump's first impeachment inquiry. Like this was part of that.
right. That should have been an easy win.
What?
Right.
What is? Oh my! You're doing an impeachment inquiry, and you come across, hey, this man hung out with a pedophile,
And we don't just dig hard into that.
and you're
like,
just like, oops, not the biggest case. Wow, man.
but again,
corruption for the rich is
Exactly.
unreal.
because that's the thing. What else could it be? And that's what I would love for anyone else to answer, right? Like, if it's not that they're trying to cut, there's people on both sides that are trying to that are being covered up for, then what else could it be?
What else could it
Because it's not money and it's not power, because a lot of all the people that we're talking about are powerful people in different ways, right? So what else could it be?
be? Mhm.
Let's be real. So here's another example from the same New York Times article. This one was posted by Jessica Silver Greenberg. Same thing, November 12th. So she describes it in October 26th, shortly before Trump won his first election. The author, Michael Wolff, wrote an email to Epstein with the subject line, quote, "Now could be the time," end quote. It was unclear what Wolff was referring to or whether Epstein responded. So the email from Michael Wolff on October 29, 2016 says, "There's an opportunity to come forward this week and talk about Trump in such a way that could garner you great sympathy and help finish him. Interested?" Question mark. So there's that. And right. So this before I go into this,
Yes.
the whole Bubba thing. Okay. So there's a lot of other emails. I encourage you all to research from
Don't get
reliable
fooled
sources.
by
Right.
yeah.
Please be careful with your sources. Please kind of double check whenever you find anything, right? And write in the comments whatever you find, because again, we're all kind of working together and trying to figure it all out together. So if there's anything that you found that might be helpful for everyone else to know, leave it in the comments so that way we can share it.
Mhm.
But looking at this, Yahoo News through the New Republic opinion piece. So in addition to all the other things that have come out, there was an email that chain that we have up here. So
Mhm.
I'm just going to read it out loud.
Okay.
And even though it's a little like blurry, which sucks,
Mhm.
but okay. So this is a conversation between Jeffrey Epstein and his brother, Mark L. Epstein.
Okay.
So Mark wrote to Jeffrey, "How are you doing? A while back you mentioned you were pre-diabetic. Has anything changed with that? What is your boy Donald up to now?"
Mhm.
Jeffrey responded, all good, Bannon with me." Mark responded, "Ask him if Putin has the photos of Trump blowing Bubba." Jeffrey responded, "And I thought I had something, serious." Mark responded, "You and your boy Donnie can make a remake of the movie Get Hard." Jeffrey responded, "You mean Donnie T?" Mark responded, "I'd rather be Donnie D's shoes." So Donnie D, yeah. So like,
Donnie D, explain that to me a little bit.
so no, sorry, no. It's just they're just like shitting around with each other and just like
Yeah.
kind of messing around with each other, right? So that's kind of clear. But what isn't clear is there's a reference to Bubba, which people are speculating is referring to Bill Clinton,
Yeah.
because that is apparently a nickname that he had back
Yeah.
in the day. And it is known that Bill Clinton hung out with both Trump and Epstein.
Yeah.
Right. So the line here of ask
Putin.
him if Putin has the photos of Trump blowing Bubba. People are speculating that there is that perhaps Trump, went down on or just gave whatever
Mhm.
to Bill Clinton.
Yeah. There's also a picture that I didn't realize was of Trump grabbing Bill Clinton's junk.
Right.
I believe it's real.
Well, y'all look into it. I don't want to even go down that rabbit hole right now, because as soon as I heard it, admittedly, I thought they were joking,
Mhm.
because the rest of the kind of email just reads as them just like being idiots to each other and just be like, yeah, the stupid broy language of like gay jokes and
Yeah,
whatever.
the what's so, again, this is another thing where I go back to the aristocrats, is these dudes will play gay with each other.
Right.
They'll tap each other. They went to summer camp. like there's a lot of homoerotic play amongst men
Mhm.
that they won't call it that.
Mhm.
And it's just like, dudes, be gay. Just be free.
Right, and leave the
Love
rest of
who
the
you
world
and leave the
alone.
rest of the world alone.
Like, you don't have to blow
If
up the world
you
this way.
and
Just be
Bubba
gay.
want to be together, I support it. Okay? If Bubba and T want to just go off into the sunset, go be happy and leave the rest of us alone. Stop making the rest of us miserable because you can't be who you want to be. So
Exactly.
you have to make the rest of us miserable
Exactly.
and hurt people along the way and all stuff like because you hate yourself so much.
Yeah. That would be nice. Just if you are closeted, don't be closeted. There's no reason for that.
Yo, just
There's
come
no
out
reason for that.
right now. Leave it in the comments. Say, you know what? I'm coming out now.
What?
I don't know. I'm just getting people to leave stuff in the comments.
That's. I mean, I guess.
And
This
also,
is,
like,
I mean, if that's the space. This is a safe
It's a
space.
safe space.
So you
all
know
right.
what? Yeah, we love you.
Yeah, we love you. If
Well,
you ever-
not these
like,
guys.
not
Like,
these guys, but if you know if you feel like I can't come out,
we're going down a weird rabbit hole.
like you know what I mean, you could come
we
out.
do love you.
And find yourself and love
If you wanna-
yourself,
yeah.
and change your ways because you don't need to hate yourself and hate everyone else and like do all these things.
But we're not talking about these Republicans.
Nothing about these Republicans. They need to find
That-
themselves in Jesus in their own way, in the real way,
And
Yeah.
or whatever. Yeah.
and pay for their sins.
That way went through a weird.
I don't know, man.
This is why I don't let you talk sometimes. Because you just be like,
This is weird. It's a weird thing. You know what I mean? We're really talking about. Oh my gosh.
I'm not. Yeah, but
No, it's like we're genuinely talking about a cabal of politicians who are literally protecting each other
yeah.
after raping children. It's like
Yeah.
what the hell?
And there's literally people out there being like, no, that's fake, or no, that's not,
No.
or no, they're. Well, actually, let's get
Let's
into what
get
people
into
are
it.
talking about.
Let's
right?
get into it.
So you already kind of touched on the fact that Trump said, "Oh, we're going to go after Democrats and all that stuff." Actually, Pam Bondi already announced
Mhm.
that they are going to have an investigation into Epstein's ties to Trump's Democratic adversaries. Which again,
Okay.
for any this is what I don't understand. This is pulling from the Guardian article, which has that title. But this is what I don't understand from Republicans. Like, you know what a dictator is, right? You know what a dictator is. You can just Google it. Look up, just look up dictator. Don't be like, oh, is Trump a dictator? No, just look up dictator. Take a step back. Look at what's happening. Targeting adversaries. You can't say anything bad. Do you feel comfortable saying anything bad about him? No. That it sounds if it sounds dictatorial and it smells dictatorial and if it
Yeah.
I don't understand. And I think I made this joke yesterday where it's just like, you're also in a cult.
Yeah.
MAGA is a cult.
Yeah.
And I know that you've heard this before and you're gonna brush it off or whatever the hell if you're actually listening. But if you can't talk about your leader in any kind of negative fashion because you're worried about backlash, that's a cult.
Yeah.
If you are like have all this merch and have all this crap about this leader, and you live and breathe, die for this guy, even though he's just taking away your benefits that your taxes are supposed to be paying for, even though he's taking away jobs left and right,
Mhm.
and you still don't see it, it's giving cold. I need y'all to be objective. Take a step back. Just take a quick look.
And I don't know if I want to say this, and you know, you can tell me, hey, cut it out, and I'll say the word, and I will. You know, my grandmother grew up during Trujillo, and we probably talked about this a few times. And I
Mhm.
know people in the U.S. don't like learning history or anything like that. But I urge you to please, because it was a trauma that my grandmother went through. Okay, and what Trujillo was, he was a rapist by nothing short of that, and he had the apparatus of the government
Mm-hmm.
to get him any woman he wanted.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Women's lives were lost. The revolutions were started by that. So I urge you, people who say you care about your children, I'm urging Republicans, anybody, if this man keeps getting away with this, you're softening the ground. We already hear what's happening with ICE, what's happening with, police departments. It's already very tragic, and something needs to be done about these police officers, ICE agents, Border Patrol who abuse people with their badge. But when you have somebody at the top that is accepted, that is tolerated, that is actually what he wants, it's
Mhm.
for the law enforcement to go out there and kidnap people and bring them for his own pleasure.
Mhm.
Holy shit, please look at what happened in DR with Trujillo and stop telling yourself that something like that cannot happen here.
Mm-hmm.
I just got a fear in the chills for so many people.
I mean, that's the thing. separate and apart from just sexual assault, rape, that's yes. But we're also allowing this man to blow up boats of civilians from other countries. Everything
The
is
way
being allowed.
everything's being allowed. And what you
So
will
so
allow,
what
what
so
else were you gonna allow this man to do with
and
law
that's
enforcement
that's
and
my
military?
and that's my point for Republicans and MAGA. What do you think is going to happen after let's play out your scenario. He wipes out all of us. He wipes out everyone on the left side. Wipes them out, right? Because that's what y'all want, right? Some of y'all. That's what you want. What do you think is going to happen? You think then he's going to be like a 180 and be very pleasant and not power hungry and not trying to take everyone's money and not? No, he's coming after you, dude.
After you.
A dictator can't exist without someone to dictate. And if he wipes us out, and if he wants Latinos, and if he wants immigrants, and if he wants all minorities to leave the country or get wiped out somehow else,
He's gonna need somebody else to dictate.
and correct. So just food for thought.
Oof.
So going back to the response, so the White House, of course, is denying everything and saying that it's a hoax and it's BS, but whatever. But yet somehow Republicans had also Epstein documents, even though they say it's a hoax. Whatever, right? So there's that. Right-wing media is also just a complete mess. So Megyn Kelly, who is
Yo, sorry for this clip because this was brutal.
it's actually disgusting. You probably have heard it already at this point, but let's just play her rationalization of what's happening.
You know somebody very, very close to this case who is in a position to know virtually everything. And this person has told me that Jeffrey Epstein, in this person's view, was not a pedophile. This is this person's view, who was there for a lot of this, but that he was into the barely legal type. Like he liked 15-year-old girls. And I realize this is disgusting. I'm definitely not trying to make an excuse for this. I'm just giving you facts. He liked the very young teen types that could pass for even younger than they were, but would look legal. We have yet to see anybody come forward and say, I was under 10, I was under 14. You can say that's a distinction without a difference.
No, it's not.
I think there is a difference. Yeah. There's a difference between a 15-year-old and a 5-year-old. You know, it's just
What the fuck?
Yeah.
So
That's a perfect. What the fuck, Megan?
So that was I downloaded the video from Don Lemon, who rightfully had the appropriate response of what the fuck,
Megan?
And you know what's funny? A lot of people, and that's why I wanted to play that full clip, because a lot of people actually aren't playing the beginning. And I do like to be fair, and I do like to give the context of everything, because context does matter.
Oh yeah.
And when I first heard the first part, I was like, oh, okay, she's just relaying what someone said. Questionable about why you're even bringing it up, because why is that relevant to this case of demons? But then when she goes on to be like, no, there is a difference. There is a difference. There's a difference to, 8 years old and 14 and 15. And what's crazy is that this woman has a 13-year-old daughter who I think maybe now is 14. We're looking at an Instagram picture of Megyn Kelly's Instagram with her then 13-year-old daughter. This was posted January of this year. And the caption is, with our 13-year-old daughter, Yardley, who's not only tall, but an excellent ball date. Whatever, they were going to something. The first comment, can you pimp her out now? Comment, we know the difference between a 5-year-old and a 15-year-old, right?
Right.
To have a woman and a mother,
They will sacrifice their own children. Their own children.
I had to look it up because
man.
I looked in the comments of these videos and people were like, she has a daughter. I'm like, there's no way she has a daughter. There's no, not only do you have a daughter, but you have a daughter within the age that was perfect for these men.
Yeah.
She was right for the picking.
Wow, how can she not?
It's disgusting.
What has she been through?
God only knows what the hell.
Megan.
Yeah, and also apparently
you don't need this job, man. You need to go find yourself. If you think like that, you
need therapy. You need to be you need to figure out your life, because whatever kind of brainwashing they've done to you is crazy.
The fact that you can stand up for Trump or even try to do these kind of gymnastics for him is disgusting. Somebody broke this down on TikTok, and please fact check this very much so. These people are online going 200 years ago it was okay to marry a 15-year-old or whatever. And somebody very well on TikTok came out, well, heard that. It was like, no, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. Okay. If you look back historically, most people got married between ages of 20, 22, 25, there's difference, whatever. But that whole it was okay to be with children shit is just not, no.
Were they talking about the U.S. specifically?
They were just it doesn't matter. They were just like basically, yeah, I think maybe they were saying within the US or within European, like, things like that in the last 2,000 years. But either way, like it's just
Yeah, there's a reason why laws have developed since then.
yeah.
And there's a reason why psychologists have come into play. There's a reason why doctors have come into
Thank you.
play
It's all
to
that
acknowledge
too.
the fact that you can't consent to a sexual act as a child.
Yeah.
You don't understand with an adult.
Mm-hmm.
There is a difference in power dynamics at
Yeah.
that point. So you actually don't understand what's happening.
Yeah.
So you can easily be taken advantage of.
Yeah.
There's so many layers to it, whether it's biological, psychological, whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, in the past, candidly, yeah, it was more socially acceptable. And the reason,
But I'm saying not in the way that these people try to make it seem like it
No,
was the norm or whatever.
it's literally
like,
comparing apples to oranges because so what? I'm guessing those same people are going to be like, oh, let me pick up a black person and make them a slave, right? Because it was socially acceptable back in the day.
look at you.
That
That's
asinine
just broke that
fucking
whole thing.
argument that I'm
Yeah.
so tired of people making, that
Yeah.
you compare things that are literally not relevant.
Yeah.
You want to go into history? Oh yeah, well, history back in the day, women couldn't do jack shit. You want to do that too?
Yeah.
Megyn Kelly? Because that's
Yeah.
apparently you're cool with stuff, right?
Yeah,
So you're cool
hey,
with stuff from back in the
You
day,
lose your bank account. Where's Mr. Kelly? He needs to sign
right?
for your bank account.
Like apparently everything back in the day was totally fine. So that's the
Yeah,
logic behind that.
see,
So yes, back in the day, and unfortunately in other countries around the world, unfortunately that's still acceptable. Child marriages are still a thing.
Mhm,
Unfortunately,
mhm.
slowly there's laws being developed internationally to fortunately protect women and children. But yeah, that's very
Yeah.
much still a thing. That does not make it okay.
No.
You psychopaths.
Wow, perfect.
Like the fact that we even have to have this conversation is
Very
disgusting
well
to
put.
me.
Very well put.
So just to end it on at least a like funny note at how
Mhm.
ridiculous right-wing media is. Here's a clip from Fox News trying to manage the situation. I believe it was yesterday.
It was funny, but if it was anybody else, I probably wouldn't think it was as funny. So, well done.
Thank you for being the only one on the right that gets the joke. Sean, it was a joke. And then the funniest thing about this story is Trump's all over the Epstein files. And I wonder if they're going to release that after the big bombshell. I didn't see anything about that on Fox News today.
Over it.
Yeah.
I heard
okay.
Bill
So
Clinton's in
let's
it.
release them. Let's release those files. Is this what passes for news?
All right.
Is this what
I didn't
passes for
bring you
news
on to
on
discuss.
Fox News?
Why
that
did
I
you
did a
kiss her
joke
feet?
picture?
Yeah.
So the picture that they were talking about, I guess it was a joke, and she just like was thankful to Jasmine Crockett for all of her incredible work.
Yeah.
And that's why in the picture also Jasmine's like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And again, yes, that's what she said. I'm glad you recognize that it's a joke. And fortunately, she took the opportunity to be like, hey, and also the Epstein files that
Yeah.
y'all are not talking about.
I did understand that she came on as like, yeah, I'm here to prank you guys, which I love that she did that. Like,
Incredible.
it was amazing.
Incredible. But it's just a snippet into the world that right-wing media is. Right. And again, I've mentioned this several times. I will keep repeating it, that like this is the importance of sharing information and talking to people. To not assume that people actually know what's actually happening. Because if they only look at Fox News, if they only look at this right-wing media, it's a completely different world. It's a completely different world. We're all crazy and that like we're making stuff up, and all of these many women that are coming out are lying and it's all BS. And I don't know how people believe that, but
I mean, it's you watch Fox News for at least like an hour and you'd be like, wow, you think it's a normal day out there and nothing's going on. Chicago is not being invaded by ICE. The economy is not having this weird tumble and no. So none of that is real.
Yeah. So I just wanted to play that quick clip. One, to shout out the woman for infiltrating in a great way, just to kind of give at least the right, like a section, a moment of, hey, this is reality real quick.
Yo, he's in the Epstein files.
Yeah.
Oh my God,
and
that
then
is so true.
And then hilarious that he was like, oh, but I heard you heard it, right? His immediate response.
Oh, but I heard Bill Clinton's in it.
Because that's the Republican response. I heard Democrats. Yeah. Go after them. Go after them. Go after all the pedophiles.
All of them.
Ever around the world. Go after them.
That's what it is. Republicans like, yo, we'll release the files and we'll show you all the Democrats in there. And then we go, good. And they go, no, never mind. We don't want to. It's like, why? Because if the Democrats get brought in to start like, naming names and they don't want to go away for that long, then they're gonna have to start naming some Republicans because that's how that's how crimes work, where you give up other people involved in the crimes. Oh, y'all won't ever pull that trigger because it would lead right back to you.
Yeah. So that's what I got. There's a lot more out there. If there's anything that I missed, if there's anything that I misstated, especially, I'm all for corrections. Please feel free to correct me. Please cite your source though, so that way we can like go and check. And again, please, this is meant to be a community. This is meant to be a safe space of sharing accurate information. And that's our goal here. We're
Yeah.
trying to show our work as we research and share information. Show your work.
Yeah.
But I definitely want to encourage everyone to do, again, your own research, confirm everything you just heard on this episode,
Mhm.
share whatever else you find out that you deem important.
Mhm.
And yeah, let's see how this develops, because
Yeah.
apparently next week there might be a vote to release everything,
Yeah.
but we'll see.
And I also say, if you think we're a good source of information, please share it. Share
Yeah.
it with someone, because mainstream media is changing a lot.
Mhm.
We actually put in a lot of time to bring in these stories and contextualize it in ways that mainstream media is not doing it.
Mhm.
And we, with us, you can come to us and let us know, hey, this thing was not expanded fully, or this thing has changed.
Yeah.
And we're willing to
Yeah, especially like,
adapt and make
yeah.
sure that we're getting you the right information.
Yeah.
And especially, like, some people have already mentioned, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, that they're already seeing that when they post about these emails and everything, that social media platforms are knocking the videos out or telling the creators that they will be kicked off the platform.
Mhm.
So it might be difficult for us to actually be able to share this the way we normally do with videos
Yeah.
and topics.
Yeah.
We might not be able to share this much on TikTok
Yeah.
or on Instagram. But if you listen to it on Spotify, if you get it on Substack or anything like that, please share the link with someone. This is going to have to be like a person-to-person kind of resources
Yeah.
to try and break through what the mainstream media is not telling you.
Yeah, and don't assume that people know, and don't assume
Don't
that people have had access to all this information. We intentionally are in the weeds of it and recognize
Yeah.
that everyone's algorithm does not look like our algorithm. So just because we try to stay informed and are fortunate to have connections that, share information, doesn't mean that everyone has the same resource.
Yeah.
So these are the times, right? These are the times to have the conversations with people. Whenever you hear someone say something reckless that know is
Yeah.
incorrect, address it with them.
Address it.
And sure, be kind or whatever, but just address it. Don't let these misinformation and disinformation continue to swell the way it has been. But yeah,
That's it.
it's exhausting work to research pedophiles, y'all. So let's not let them continue to
Yeah, do this to us.
That's what they are.
No, I'm saying don't let them do this to us. Let's just lock them up so we don't have to keep doing these massive research projects on people who are
And
clearly
also,
pedophiles.
why do I have to research when how many women have said this? So I'm sorry, ladies, that I even had to research this, but I believed you. So we believed you.
We believed you.
But yeah, on that happy note,
Thank you again.
Yeah.
For all your work, co-host.
Yeah.
Rest, relax, go.
To everyone else too, rest.
You too. This might have been an episode, especially if you're gonna look into it, it's gonna be a heavy one. So make sure you rest.
Yeah, y'all.
All right, guys.
Okay. So thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening.
We appreciate the support.
Always appreciate your support.
Sorry, we were gone for 2 weeks.
Yes.
But we had a lot of stuff going on, but it's all good stuff. We're developing things. See, we figured out how to fix tech issues, hopefully, going forward.
Yeah, we're always, you see us evolving. We're like those velociraptors in Jurassic Park 3. We're gonna turn that doorknob, and we're gonna
I want to be like a T-Rex, like a little
yeah,
guy.
but T-Rex got so smart, and like, I mean, the velociraptor got so smart. T-Rex just like,
I gotta rewatch it.
Yeah. Okay. Anyways, thank you so much for listening.
Okay,
Take it out, like a host.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks for listening.
Bye.
Bye.